as part of your audition for any Showstoppers show, you'll obviously have to do a singing audition. And usually most people go away and prepare a song and come in and do it, usually without words, which is fantastic. It's great to learn a song, and a lot of people tend to use the same audition song for most of their auditions. And this can work in some cases, but the problem is with the singing audition is that the people on the panel, particularly the musical directors, will be looking for other things other than just the fact that you can sing. Because quite a lot of people have a slightly bad habit of choosing a song which they know they can sing and do well, and then we'll just try and apply that to any show, whether it's like a contemporary rock show like Rent, or like a really older legit style show like Guys and Dolls, or indeed a Sondheim like Into the Woods or Company. So what I've kind of come up with is there's basically 3 things you need to consider when choosing a song to learn and to do for your audition. And you need to try and balance those things as much as you can, which is difficult, but it's manageable. So first off, obviously you need to do a song which suits your voice and your range well, and that shows off all the different things you can do. So for example, if you're a soprano and can hold those high notes really well, you want to show a song that has some really big high notes at the end. On the other hand, if you're a mezzo or an alto who doesn't quite have the vocal capacity or support to be able to do that, there's no point trying to do that and then failing. You better go and show something that showcases your diction or your mid-range more. So you want to have a song which suits your voice and shows off all the different things you can do with it. So if you're really, really good at diction, choose a song which has a lot of diction in it, and so on and so forth. The second thing is you want to choose a song which suits the musicality of a show, because musicals have a very big breadth and lots of different styles in them. You can have musicals that are based on jazz technique and jazz singing. You have quite pop contemporary sound, or you can have really classical, vibrato heavy, legit sound. And often for particular musicals, particularly ones of an older style or of like a Sondheim mid-70s, 80s style, it's good if you come in and sing a song and you can sing, but for a panel to want to cast you over other people, because there are lots, particularly in the business, in the industry, there are lots of people who can sing. Being able to sing isn't the reason someone will cast you. Being able to sing appropriately for the show and appropriately for a part is the reason why someone would start considering you for a part based on your singing. So it can help to look at what show it is, look at when it was written, what it sounds like, and trying to find a song which is similar or close to that show. So for example, it's not a bad idea for a Sondheim show to come in with another Sondheim or a Jason Robert Brown, or something that shows off more musicality and more of a technique. Whereas if you're going for something like Rent, you choose something that's more of a rocking tone, or like quite a straight tone. So yeah, that's the second thing. And then the third thing, which is massively important, and not a lot of people, but quite a few people don't tend to realise or do, is that yes, the acting part of your audition, the monologues is your acting, your singing is also passively an acting audition as well. Because as musical theatre performers, you're primarily actors who can also sing and dance. You act through singing, you act through dancing. So when you're picking a song, you need to think about how you can put character and the emotion and like little quirks that your character would have on stage into a 3-minute song. So it's all well to come and do like a normal pop song which you can sing technically well, but if you don't sing with any emotion or direction or like emotional and characteral presence behind it, it's not going to make anywhere near as much of an impact as someone who came in and did a technically easier song but with a depth, with a lot more character and emotion. And so yeah, when you're choosing a song to audition with and planning to do that, you need to try and take those 3 things into account, a bit like a triangle, and try and get it as equally balanced as you can. But obviously this is quite difficult to do because some shows, people's voices, like I'm a baritone, so if I was going for a contemporary rock show like Rent, I would have a hard time finding a good, solid contemporary rock musical theatre song that suited the baritone voice, because there aren't a lot of them. So you'd have to try and balance and find the best compromise between them. But yeah, I'd recommend it's best to try and find a song that suits the show first, then you can apply that to suit your voice. So you look at the different parts in the show, what other parts in different musicals are similar to, and choose songs that suit them. And then you can put the character onto that, because you look at where the characters come from, why they're singing this, what they're conveying through the song, and then put the acting into that. But yeah, so those are the 3 points. when doing a singing audition, show off your voice and what you can do. Show the audition panel that you would suit the show and could sing the show well, and show the panel that you can act through song and would be good for their show. That is that. Sev, questions? Yes, Sev. Question.
When you say acting through song, do you mean
yes.
acting as the character the song is?
Not necessarily. You can choose to act like if you did Your Eyes from Rent, you could act as the character singing that from the show, or you can project a different character onto that. As long as you are, or even like if you're singing a song that you connect very personally with, then sing a song and sing it as you connecting with it and showing what you feel and what you're feeling through the song. Basically just showing that you have a connection between your acting capability and also the singing, because it's not any use for a panel if you have someone who can act when they're just speaking, and then when they sing they stop, stand like this, oh, and completely disengage from any kind of character acting, because then you can call someone back in to do another monologue, but you can't call someone back in to do another song and do it with more character. So, yeah. Charlie?
Are there any songs or musicals you would stay away from?
Actually, for company, we were quite lucky. We didn't actually have any repeat songs.
But
last year, when I was AMD in Greece, I was playing the piano for auditions for Greece. We had a lot of people come in with Disney, so Part of Your World, and Les Mis and Wicked.
Yeah.
So basically, it's good to do songs that you're very familiar with and can do well, but especially if it's from like Wicked, Les Mis, Disney, a big popular musical that everybody knows and everybody sings, you're wanting to show the audition panel why they should cast you and why you're different from someone else they could consider for the same part. So unless you're very, very comfortable and very confident that you can do a really well-known song better than anyone else who will audition with that same song, it's better to find a song that you are convinced that you could do better than anyone else, even if it's just because no one auditions with that song.
Also, it sounds bad that it gets boring listening to the same song all the time. People
we
do automatically disengage the fifth time.
I mean, we had the same song 9 times for each other.
You just
I Dreamed a Dream we had 9 times.
And also that's another, back to Sev's point earlier, if you act as exactly as the character in the film or in a musical that sings the song, if someone else comes and do the same thing, you can both be good actors, but you'll both be doing exactly the same thing in the middle of your song, and it'll make it look less impressive and more boring for the audition panel. So yeah, just be wary of that.
Choose a song which can
which you wouldn't be afraid to do something slightly different with the character. You can see yourself playing and doing differently from anyone else, within reason. Don't come in and sing a ballad with a happy face and the so, yeah, that's.
Repeat that for me, please.
do a box.
I'm not a dancer, don't worry. But dancing is. So yeah, any more questions or Kenny?
How much of an impact would doing a non-musical show song?
As in doing a show that's not from a musical?
No, as in like, doing a song that's not from a musical. It depends on what you put into it and what the song is. So like, particularly there might be several like, I don't know, like there's a he's on like a piano pop contemporary kind of artist called Scott Allen, who writes a lot of songs that aren't from musicals, but they're very well suited to musical auditions because they have a lot of story and emotion and depth behind them that you can project onto it. So it really depends on the song, because if you have like a ballad or a song that has a lot of meaning to it, you can come in and act it. Whereas if you came in with a Nicki Minaj song, you're not going to get very far.
But if you act Anaconda.
Yeah, but then also how much does that show what you can do vocally, because there's nothing there except arguably diction. So, and even then, not great. And yeah, Danny?
Are you at sort of any disadvantage if you go in like and have a backing track, or if you piano, or if you do?
It depends on how you interact with the backing track and the panel, because especially if you're auditioning for, I hate to back me as old, but like you're auditioning for Rent or Next to Normal, or a very rock-heavy show, and you want to do a really intense rock, oh Jesus Christ Superstar, with a really intense rock voice, and show that you can project over a big, large electric band behind you. It would possibly be better to do it with a backing track than with a solo piano, because it will just suit the things more. But if you are using a backing track, you need to know the timings and be very confident with it yourself. Yeah, in fact for company, we had only a few, like 4 or 5 people audition which we actually paid for. Most people came in and used backing tracks and they worked absolutely fine. You can also audition a cappella if you want, but it doesn't often go very well, especially if you've got a modulation or a key change. It's good to have a tonal reference unless you have perfect pitch. So yeah. But equally, it's also equally fun to audition with piano, particularly if you've chosen something that showcases the range and delicacies of your voice more. So if you're doing something which shows a really intense, hushed, quiet voice that builds up towards a more of a big belting finish, piano is also very good for that too.